Hello, welcome back to Bershiva. In today's episode, we are going to be implementing a new tram system, the first tram system for this whole series. So in today's episode, we're going to be doing two different ones that kind of form a bit of an X going through the city. And honestly, once you see how busy the central areas are with the tram, oh, it is satisfying. It looks so good. There's so many people wandering around the main areas, so many people using the trams throughout the entire city. So let's get into it. There's a lot to do. So what we're going to be doing, if you see my mouse over there on the right, so we're going to go all the way across through here and then up through here, and then it's going to stop over there, and then we're going to do another one that goes down through there. So if you didn't catch that, that's alright, but you guys will see everything as we go out through this video. And towards the end of the video, we are going to do a first person tram ride, because I personally want to see what it looks like when you're actually up and in there. So there's still going to be a few issues when you see the end product, but it's mainly just so I can see if it's working properly. So what happened here was, you can see there's the tram line that I put down on the road there. So I started using this road because I thought cars could drive on this road, the one that's glitching now. But turns out cars can't drive on it, but there's still pedestrian access. So you'll notice I put down that certain road, which is actually just for the trams, but eventually I update it in certain areas because I want there to be car access on some areas of the tram line, and other areas I don't want car access. So you have to keep an eye out for that. These smaller roads will be the tram only roads. The larger ones will have the road access. So another thing, there's going to be a lot of sharp turns in this video because I'm not going to demolish huge big buildings and huge areas just to make it easier for a tram to go around the corner. So you'll see some areas in this video where the tram has to do really sharp turns, and that's just how it is. So not a big deal. Anyway, so the tram comes along through here, and I wanted it to go past the university because that's a very important area, and I wanted it to go directly into the downtown area. So you can see right here, that's the tram line that you're seeing right there. That's the one that only has tram access. And then this other one, which I've clicked on just there, you can see it's a little bit wider when I put it down. It allows for cars to go on it, but it also allows for parking and pedestrian access. So that's one that I really want. But the only thing is, when I put down that road specifically, it's a little bit wider than all of the roads that were originally in the city. So when I put down that road, I actually have to go like this and select all the buildings and drag them back, because otherwise we can't see where the pedestrians walk. And I know that's going to be an issue in the comments. People are going to be like, blah, 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 can't see, blah, blah, blah. So all the buildings, they have to be moved back. Fortunately for you guys, I'm not going to show you guys, I'm not going to show you me moving every single building out of the way, because it took a while, but it's worth it because it makes it look so much better. Yes, I love seeing all the pedestrians walking around. It looks really good. Anyway, let's move on from that. But one thing I do like about that road is that it looks old, so it fits in with the city. So we get to this point, we've gone through the main area, and instead of it meeting with that intersection right there, which is where the cars come directly off the highway, we're going to break off from that main road and kind of just go through whatever this is going to be. We're going to go through the back areas and then connect onto this road here, because we want to go to the other side of the highway, and instead of making their own separate bridge for the tram, we're going to utilize that existing 4-lane bridge right there and just update it to put in the tram in the middle. From this point on then, so there you go, there's just a bit of an outline. And then from the other side, I tried a few different things. I tried putting it straight through the middle. That's why I'm putting those buildings back. But this is where it gets a little bit zigzaggy. So it goes up through here. You can see it zigzags to the right, then goes up, and then it zigzags to the left and goes through this area. It actually just comes to an end in this suburb. So you can see at the side of the screen there, it just goes up and then it stops. So in the future, we can easily extend that tram line out. It's always good to keep that in mind, future planning, so we can easily just extend that out whenever we expand that area. Let's put down a few little stations. I'm not going to do too many. I do want there to be at least 3 in the actual center area. This one that is put down might be a little bit close. That one right there, I'm not sure what I'm going to do in that area. It might just leave it as a park or something. I'm not sure yet, but as you'll see at the end of the video, pretty much every tram station is getting used really, really well. There's a lot of people who really needed it, surprisingly. And I end up using this tram right here. I think it fits in very, very well with the city because it's not a bright model. It's kind of grayish, whitish, creamish. So it does fit in with the whole Maltese building pack that I got, which is those smaller brick looking brown, creamy, whitish buildings right there. So yeah, you can see those, you can see right there, it fits in really well. It has a purple line in it because that's the color of the actual line, but I think I changed it to red. Alright, let's start on the next line. So I'm going to be using this road, which has the tram, the car access, and the parking. It's going to go straight down through here, straight down the downtown, then goes into the kind of the older areas. And of course, since this is the larger road, I'm going to have to move all of the buildings back a little bit. Like I said, I'm not going to show you guys me doing all of that because it's too much. And then we come down through, you know, the older areas where there's nothing else. We come to that area, we'll come back to that. This area, I kind of had to demolish a few buildings basically, just because I didn't want to do really sharp turns again. So yes, I know I had to delete a couple of buildings, but it's for the greater good. If I remember correctly, the roads that you're looking at right there, it is kind of like an industrial style. It's kind of older looking. Anyway, we come over here and you'll notice that the tram line disconnects from the main road. And the reason being is because that road right there is one of the key access points to our highway. So in the future, not right now, but way down in the future, that road, I assume it's going to be busier. There's going to be a lot of traffic going on and off from the highway, and I didn't want to mix the two together. So I wanted to keep the tram separate, so then all of the cars, they don't have to worry about the trams, they don't have to worry about the people, you know, walking across the roads and getting to the trams and going to pathways and things like that. So it's just completely separated, and it's going to keep the flow just looking good, basically. Luckily, I could continue the tram line just underneath our highway right there. And then we're actually going to continue it all the way up here to Abu Hafar. And if we wanted, I do add an extra line if we wanted to extend it to the next town, which is called Samalut, which is the one that has the forestry area, and it's right near the new highway as well. For now, Abu Hafar, it's pretty small, but it is kind of its own little area because it has its own name. So it is kind of its own little town. I will be extending it, making it a little bit bigger. So that's why I wanted to extend the line out here. And again, it's good to just have it done because you never know what's going to happen in the future. You just got to keep prepared for whatever happens. Okay, so here we are on the other side of the city. Again, I'm using the road, which is a little bit wider, and it's going out here to what is eventually going to be a little bit of a touristy area, a bit of a seaside or lakeside area. I will need to move all the buildings over again because it is quite a larger road. Anyway, let's go down into our first person mode. Like I said, there might still be some issues, like there might be a tree in the way, or I don't know, a bush on the pathway or something like that. I don't know. But I just wanted to go down here, give you guys a bit of a look at everything from this perspective. And also it's good for me to see what I need to change to make it even better. So we're coming along here, and to the left is, well, just behind these buildings is the university area, which is the last video. And then we come over here where it opens up because this is the big boulevard area. So in case you didn't catch it, this is the big boulevard area where originally it was two normal roads on either side, but I've basically forfeited one side of the road to become just the tram and pedestrian access, pretty much. And actually it looks really, really good. I think if cars could go on this road, it wouldn't look as good. And luckily it's not too busy in this area anyway, so there's a lot of people, which is really, really satisfying. A lot of people waiting right there. I think at this point when I filmed this, I only had 2 trams on this tram line. That's why there's a lot of people waiting, but eventually I add 4 or 5 for each tram line. And for the sake of the video, I did reduce the speed of the tram, so it's a little bit easier for us to view. It's also smoother for us to watch. Once I finished recording this, I actually put the speeds back to whatever it was. I think it was like 40 kilometers an hour. So yeah, I just slowed it down. I think I made the trams so slow that you can actually walk faster. If you notice, back in the main area, the downtown area, the people are actually walking faster. So we come over here, there's people hovering there, I don't know why. I don't know what I'm going to do in this area, so that's why there's just a straight tram line straight through. And lots of people, which is really, really good, which means we can probably do a commercial area. Since there's a lot of people, we can make shops and increase buying, basically. Some sharp turns there, but then it just comes up here and there's a building that's suddenly appeared in the middle of the road. Whatever. It stops here nearby a park, which is kind of the main area for this suburban. Yes, this is a suburban area, and we just continue straight up here, and that's basically it for this line. So like I said, eventually if we wanted, we can easily extend this line further on when we extend the whole neighborhood. Now we're over here in our lakeside area or seaside area, whatever you want to call it. Eventually this is going to be full of high-rise apartments and, you know, restaurants and shops and pathways, and, you know, it's going to look really appealing, basically, really touristy. So, but as for now, just empty, but there's still 10 million cars, and there's actually a lot of people on there. I don't know why. Why is there so many people on there? I don't know, but whatever. That's good that they're out and about and walking and stretching their legs and taking part in nature before it all gets turned into cement, basically. Yes, I know there is a bush on the pathway or in the path of our tram, but that's alright, not important. So at this point, I just sped it up a little bit just to get over here. So once we get into this part, this is now the downtown area. And you'll notice a lot of people walking in front of the tram. There were cyclists on the road that went right into the tram. You know, cyclists everywhere. A lot of people waiting there. That stop is the busiest stop because that's where the two trams meet. That's the only spot they can transfer. And we come along here, again, very, very busy. I'm pretty sure the tram actually bumps into a lot of the parked cars, but you know, that's such a tiny detail, it doesn't really matter. At this point, we are kind of in the midtown area. We're transitioning from the downtown larger buildings into the medium-sized, and then basically by this point, we're getting down into just the suburbs, pretty much, even though it doesn't look like suburbs. But yeah, it is pretty much suburbs, and that could be clipping there. That was a really sharp turn. And we've got some Japanese buildings there. I just like those Japanese buildings because they look really cool with all the shop fronts. And yeah, I mean, there's not really much else I can say. As long as it's working and as long as the people are using it, that's a lot of people over there, actually. That's surprising. It comes off the main road there, and then they have their own little station. There's not really any reason why I put actual stations in some spots and then other stations are just the vanilla ones. There's no real reason for that. I just did it. I should have put another stop right there because it's near a industrial area, which will be really, really handy. And then we come up here, which is just the end, and that's basically it for this video. So, done. It looks good, but you can see it's really, really slow. But yeah, it looks really good. The trams fit in with the whole look. But now that I've seen all of these really close-up areas in the downtown area, it makes me really want to finish doing like this boulevard area. Anyway, bye guys.